the media, a warm good evening and a warm welcome to each and every one of you to be here. It is with great pleasure and pride that I welcome you all to this momentous occasion, which is the launch of seaplane guidelines under the regional connectivity scheme UDAN Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. Today marks a significant milestone in the evolution of our nation's civil aviation and transport sector. As we embark on this great journey to unlock the vast potential of seaplanes in transforming connectivity across the diversity of this great country. As we stand together today, it is crucial to reflect on the journey that has brought us here, acknowledging the challenges we have encountered along the way. If you remember, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, in the year 2020, he wanted to introduce and promote the idea of seaplanes in the country. And it was then that he launched the route between Sabarmati riverfront in Ahmedabad and the Statue of Unity in Kevadia. This was in 2020. But since then, there have been some challenges in running the seaplane operations. We were met with some unforeseen challenges. The complexities of securing regulatory approvals were there, and the technical intricacies of constructing water-based infrastructure and the need for seamless coordination among multiple stakeholders presented significant hurdles at that time, which inevitably reduced the progress which we wanted to make in the seaplane sector. However, when we explored these challenges, we saw them not as setbacks, but as valuable lessons that informed our strategy for moving forward. They underscored the need for a comprehensive and adaptable framework, one that could address the unique demands of seaplane operations in India's diverse landscape. The experiences gained from that time have shaped the guidelines that we are releasing today, ensuring that they are both practical, responsive to the realities that we are facing on the ground. Today, we take a crucial step forward by launching the guidelines under the RCS UDAN. And this framework is the result of careful planning, extensive consultation, and a commitment to overcome the challenges that we earlier faced. We have drawn inspiration from the success of NCOP operations in small plane sector and especially helicopters under the RCS scheme, adapting those learnings and trying to put them to the seaplane sector also. The guidelines we present today prioritize the safety and security of operations above all. They clearly outline the responsibilities of each stakeholder, from the operators to the regulatory bodies, ensuring a seamless and efficient rollout of seaplane services across the nation. Our approach is not merely about setting up rules, but it is also about creating an enabling environment where innovation can also thrive and where the full potential of seaplanes is actually realized in this country. Seaplanes hold the opportunity of revolutionizing connectivity in regions where conventional airport infrastructure is not feasible due to obvious land constraints that we are facing. Imagine a future where seaplanes seamlessly integrate with our existing aviation network, providing last mile connectivity to regions that have remained isolated due to geographical challenges. This new mode of transportation will not only offer faster and more comfortable travel to those areas, but also open up new avenues for economic growth, particularly in the tourism sector. Seaplanes can play a pivotal role in connecting various religious and tourist destinations of this country, offering a unique travel experience that will attract both domestic and also international holiday makers. This in turn is going to generate a lot of employment, stimulate tourism, and contribute significantly to the GDP of this country. While tourism and passenger ferrying are our primary focus, seaplanes in India can also be valuable for research, for environmental monitoring, coastal resource management, and many other wide areas of research. They can also play a crucial role in national disaster relief time, coastal and island defense, and patrolling and surveillance missions along our extensive maritime boundaries. India is uniquely positioned to leverage the potential of seaplane operations with its extensive coastline, which is up to the tune of 7,500 kilometers, a vast network of rivers and lakes, and more than 1,300 islands, and some of these islands are much bigger than Singapore also. Singapore also. Our vision is to unlock this potential, transform our coastlines, rivers, lakes from barriers into corridors of connectivity, avenues of economic opportunity, and pathways to inclusive development. We are not just introducing a new mode of transport, but we are setting the stage for a revolution in how we want to connect our people. We imagine a future where seaplanes link the bustling metropolis of Mumbai with the serene backwaters of Kerala, or when they bridge the remote islands of the Andaman and Nicobar with the mainland cities of this country. Picturing the stunning landscapes of the northeast, the pristine lakes of Kashmir, and the unspoiled beauty of our coastal region, these are some of the grand connectivity scope that we have by providing the seaplane operations. India's largest river systems such as the Ganga, Brahmaputra, Godavari, and Krishna, along with large lakes like the Dal Lake in Jammu and Kashmir, Vembanad Lake in Kerala, Chilka in Orissa, Pulikat in Andhra Pradesh, Loktak Lake in Manipur. There are numerous potential water-based routes for the seaplanes that we can explore in the coming future. These routes can offer groundbreaking solution for improving tourism traffic, connecting popular destinations like Goa, Kerala, backwaters, Andhra Konasima region is there, and also the lakes of Rajasthan. And in regions across India, such as the northeastern states, the Western Ghats, and the Himalayas, the challenging terrain makes the construction of traditional airports a little bit more difficult and also expensive. But imagine seaplanes, which is a very practical and innovative solution, bypassing these obstacles and by utilizing rivers and lakes for landing and takeoff. We have seen right now that 200 acres of land, when we are trying to build an aircraft, we have the challenge in those airports also that we can only run aircrafts which are 19-seater or 20-seater or much lesser than that. But when you see these water bodies, just by creating that minimum infrastructure where you can just get into the plane and exit the plane, you are able to run the more 20-seater, 24, we have seen AI also presenting a 24-seater aircraft. So imagine the kind of connectivity that you can give just by having that water body in that location, even if it is remote, even if it is geographically a tough terrain. So the kind of possibilities is for us to explore, and sky is the limit here. And our vision of Indian aviation is centered around a robust hub and spoke model. With Delhi, we want to have it as a primary hub, and also we are exploring many other airports, especially in the southern part of India, to have many more major hubs also. And in this hub and spoke model, seaplanes become the vital network of providing the spokes, and where they function for giving the exclusive connectivity, the last mile connectivity to these remote parts of the country, and also strengthening the hub and spoke model that we want to create in the coming days in this country. This approach will also strengthen the aviation network and also keep us very strongly connected and explore the full potential of civil aviation sector in this country. And recognizing the pressing need for flexible and practical approach to realizing this vision, we have diligently formulated the guidelines for seaplane NSOP operations under the RCS UDAN scheme. And I have to admit today that RCS UDAN scheme is also a revolutionary scheme, not just for Indian operations, but also across the world. You wouldn't find any other scheme where a government is supporting air travel to such an extent where it is trying to create the infrastructure and also given viability gap funding for these unserved and underserved routes, where government only becomes a partner and tries to encourage civil aviation sector. And that is the progress that you would have seen in the last 10 years. In 2014, the number of airports that we had, the number of connectivity points that we had, it almost doubled, and it's more than double also today in 2024 when we talk about civil aviation sector. And the basic backbone for all this increase has been the RCS UDAN network. So we have explored the possibilities of why not RCS UDAN network, which is only connecting the civil aviation planes today, extend it up to the helicopter sector also, extend it up to the seaplane sector also. And that was what was tried in 2020 when we wanted to explain the RCS scheme to the seaplane sector, but for some wide variety of reasons, there was not that much success as much as we had hoped. So then we spoke to the industry, then we spoke to the stakeholders in the industry, and whatever feedback that has come to us, we have tried to implement it, we have tried to make the necessary changes, and in addition to that, we are keeping the RCS UDAN scheme as still a major backbone to this promotion, and we want to see this time that it's going to flourish like one of the superior models that are there in the country, especially when people talked about Maldives also. That is purely driving the tourism sector there with 108 odd planes, and it is serving one sector primarily, which is the tourism sector. But in a country like India, which is hugely diverse and where there is a lot of potential, a lot of opportunities, not just for tourism, but there are many other sectors where seaplanes can come in and offer possible solutions, then it is for us, not just as the Government of India, Ministry of Civil Aviation, not just for the seaplane operators. I would take this moment to invite the state governments also, the union territories also, to actively pursue this idea on how to promote seaplane operations within their own state, within their own region, to connect those crucial points and to provide that last mile connectivity to the unserved regions of this country. And there is a need for us to improve this sector in a much, much bigger way. So each and everyone that is here, everyone has a very strong role to play. And we believe from our side, whatever necessary things is there to replenish this, rejuvenate this program, we are trying to do from our part. And I would like to thank the DGCA also, who are very, very diligent and very, very strict in the regulations that they keep. But they understand how important the seaplane network is for the success of this country. So that is how the car regulations that needed changes, DGCA has been very, very flexible in trying to offer a very smoothened process for upgrading the seaplane network in this country. And the guidelines that we have today draw success from the NSOP operations for helicopters, like I've just mentioned, and also with safety and security, we are keeping these guidelines as the topmost responsibility for all stakeholders. And the RCS UDAN scheme, we are creating an environment that encourages private players also, because the major challenge we have observed for private players is the viability of that route. The route is very, very attractive on paper, but when it comes to operations, we have seen many a times that the viability gap funding becomes a very necessary point to address. And that is where we have seen for the regular routes, there are state governments trying to provide, there is RCS scheme which is trying to provide. So we are going to continue that. And we are seeing that this RCS UDAN scheme that is there for the present time was envisioned for 10 years. But because of the success that we have gained for RCS scheme, we from the ministry want to propose RCS 2.0, which is going to run for another 10 years also. And the ministry is strongly working for that. I'm telling this scheme because I want that confidence to be there with the private players, with the operators also, because I feel the necessity for this scheme to function in the long term also. So we are working on the scheme to be extended up to another 10 years, so we can have that kind of commitment happening from the Ministry of Civil Aviation. And private operators also, we encourage you to explore the length and breadth of this country, identify those high potential connectivity points and also the underserved points, maybe such as the Northeast or some of the unconnected islands of this country, and try to create those routes where we can all work together and make them viable in not just running the route for travel, but also creating those economic activity regions in those specific areas. And the VGF under the UDAN will also make it financially viable for you, ensuring that seaplane operations can sustain routes with lower passenger volumes or in nascent markets, which are also very much required in the country. Safety, like I said, it always remains our topmost priority. No matter what we do, we are never going to compromise on the safety of a seaplane or the operations or the passenger that is traveling. So that is one commitment that we want to give from the meeting today also. So the guidelines that stipulate for the that we are stipulating for the seaplanes and certified by the DGCA will also ensure that this commitment towards the safety of the passenger is always there within us. And then I'm also confident that India is on the brink of becoming a self-reliant player in the civil aviation sector. And with the capability of designing, manufacturing and maintenance also strongly improve in this sector. And I can proudly say this because of the Bharatiya Vayuyan Videyak, which we passed in the Lok Sabha recently. We have addressed civil aviation as not just a travel mode, but also a sector where we can actually involve our country in designing, in manufacturing and also maintenance of aircrafts also, where it is a huge global industry. And right now the advantage is being taken by many other countries. So why not India? So that is the thought process we are bringing into civil aviation today. We want to design planes here. We want to manufacture planes here. We want to maintain the planes here. That is why for the MRO sector, the import GST slab, which was there in many different slabs. There was, when we were importing these parts from many other countries, some were listed as 5%, some were 8, some were 12, some were 15, some were 18%. So there was a lot of confusion happening. But the central government, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he has decided that we need to give MRO sector a big push. So the IGST has been reduced and one slab has been created, which is 5% today, which is going to boost the MRO sector in the coming days in the country. And we are expected to see the MRO sector double its operations in the coming 7 years from $2 billion industry to $4 billion industry. That is the potential MRO sector has today. But as we progress in the MRO sector also, I have a vision that I want to see India manufacture those planes also here. There is HOL which is working on it. There is NAL which is working on it. So the requirement there is we want to connect them with the private players where they can bring in the investment and they can set up their manufacturing industries also here. And not only for our internal consumption. When India starts manufacturing its planes, it's not going to be just for India to operate its own planes. It has to be for the world again. People need to come to India and buy planes from here. So this is the long-term plan we have in setting up manufacturing industries also here. And I was happy to see AI, which has presented its operations regarding its operations, that I would like to invite players like you to come and set up those manufacturing industries, especially in seaplane industries, where we will see a huge growth in the operations in the coming days. So that is one sector that we want to strongly push on, which is designing, manufacturing and maintaining of these aircrafts in the country also. And also, as we embark on this new journey, it is very important for us to look at countries which have successfully utilized this model of seaplane network. I've just taken the example of Maldives also. So just 108 planes targeting one specific industry, and it's become revolutionary for that country, and it has become viable also for that country. It has not only how the seaplane network is viable, but also the assistance that it gives to the tourism sector also. So that holistic approach, that ecosystem, creating that ecosystem around the seaplane routes, so that some additional benefit that we are able to do to that region, to that community, to that place is something we have to actively keep pursuing as we spread our network forward. And the seaplane industry in India needs a very favorable policy and environment, which is what we are trying to do from our side today by launching these guidelines. And our objective has always been to create supportive regulatory framework that prioritizes safety and reliability with fostering innovation and growth. The industry will provide significant employment opportunities. We have also discussed about that for pilots, for maintenance staff, for ground crews, and also focus on skilling local youth of this country for getting them attached to the seaplane network. And our vision extends to developing multimodal transport hubs also. And you will see this in the coming days, where we are trying to connect all the logistics together. Airports with the railway network, airports with the road network, where we are extending our network and providing one basic mode of transportation where you start from your home and you have a seamless logistical approach to reaching your destination. If you're starting from one remote place in this country, you have proper road network which connects you to the railway station or which connects you to the airport, and from there when you land at the destination you're still having that good network connectivity. So the whole complete model of multi-mode transport and logistics sector we are looking at a point of view where the scheme of Gati Shakti also comes into play. So that is one approach that we are going to take in the coming days, that where all the sectors of the country, the transport modes get integrated and provide the seamless transition and seamless progress in travel in this country. And while we do this, we are committed towards the UN framework on climate change also. We realize that is an important sector where we need to keep ourselves vigilant on what we are going to do. And I'm very happy to say that most of the airports that we have today are very clean airports, in the sense that they are run on renewable energy, and we are converting whatever remaining airports are there, we are trying to convert them into clean energy. So we are always committed on environmental and climate change policy of the UN also. And under the visionary leadership dynamic leadership of our Honorable Minister Narendra Modi ji, India is on a path of becoming Vikasit Bharat by 2047. And in this path of becoming Vikasit Bharat, we realize that civil aviation has a very important and huge role to play. Not just the role that is playing today. As we progress in the coming years, we see the civil aviation spreading its wings, spreading its network, and becoming more and more crucial for the growth of this country and for expanding its economic activity around the country. So in that sense of Vikasit Bharat, it is our commitment that we are going to become a self-reliant and a global leader in innovation from the side of Ministry of Civil Aviation. And the bold vision that is driving us today, the force that is driving us today to innovate, initiate, and also include is today's guidelines that we are releasing under Seaplane Network. And we work towards connecting every corner of our country. We are not only just building infrastructure, we are building the foundations of a new India that is inclusive, prosperous, and fully integrated. The introduction of seaplane operations is a testament to this vision, bringing us one step closer to realizing an India where every citizen has the opportunity to thrive no matter where they live. With the collective effort and cooperation of all the stakeholders that are present today, I am confident that we will witness the successful integration of seaplane operations into India's aviation landscape. This is not just about transportation, it is about economic development, job creation, and inclusive growth. Together, we will make seaplanes India's growth symbol, India's innovation and commitment for inclusive development. With these words, I would like to end my speech. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Minister Sir, for your inspiring words and for launching the guidelines on seaplane operations under UDAN. We thank everyone
from these respected state governments and union territories, NSOP operators, OEMs, lessors, and esteemed friends from the media, a warm good evening and a warm welcome to each and every one of you to be here. It is with great pleasure and pride that I welcome you all to this momentous occasion, which is the launch of Seaplane Guidelines under the Regional Connectivity Scheme, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. Today marks a significant milestone in the evolution of our nation's civil aviation and transport sector. As we embark on this great journey to unlock the vast potential of seaplanes in transforming connectivity across the diversity of this great country. As we stand together today, it is crucial to reflect on the journey that has brought us here, acknowledging the challenges we have encountered along the way. If you remember, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, in the year 2020, he wanted to introduce and promote the idea of seaplanes in the country. And it was then that he launched the route between Sabarmati riverfront in Ahmedabad and the Statue of Unity in Kevadia. This was in 2020. But since then, there have been some challenges in running the seaplane operations. We were met with some unforeseen challenges. The complexities of securing regulatory approvals were there, and the technical intricacies of constructing water-based infrastructure and the need for seamless coordination among multiple stakeholders presented significant hurdles at that time, which inevitably reduced the progress which we wanted to make in the seaplane sector. However, when we explored these challenges, we saw them not as setbacks, but as valuable lessons that informed our strategy for moving forward. They underscored the need for a comprehensive and adaptable framework, one that could address the unique demands of seaplane operations in India's diverse landscape. The experiences gained from that time have shaped the guidelines that we are releasing today, ensuring that they are both practical, responsive to the realities that we are facing on the ground. Today, we take a crucial step forward by launching the guidelines under the RCS UDAN, and this framework is the result of careful planning, extensive consultation, and a commitment to overcome the challenges that we earlier faced. We have drawn inspiration from the success of NCOP operations in small plane sector and especially helicopters under the RCS scheme, adapting those learnings and trying to put them to the seaplane sector also. The guidelines we present today prioritize the safety and security of operations above all. They clearly outline the responsibilities of each stakeholder from the operators to the regulatory bodies, ensuring a seamless and efficient rollout of seaplane services across the nation. Our approach is not merely about setting up rules, but it is also about creating an enabling environment where innovation can also thrive and where the full potential of seaplanes is actually realized in this country. Seaplanes hold the opportunity of revolutionizing connectivity in regions where conventional airport infrastructure is not feasible due to obvious land constraints that we are facing. Imagine a future where seaplanes seamlessly integrate with our existing aviation network, providing last mile connectivity to regions that have remained isolated due to geographical challenges. This new mode of transportation will not only offer faster and more comfortable travel to those areas, but also open up new avenues for economic growth, particularly in the tourism sector. Seaplanes can play a pivotal role in connecting various religious and tourist destinations of this country, offering a unique travel experience that will attract both domestic and also international holiday makers. This in turn is going to generate a lot of employment, stimulate tourism, and contribute significantly to the GDP of this country. While tourism and passenger ferrying are our primary focus, seaplanes in India can also be valuable for research, for environmental monitoring, coastal resource management, and many other wide areas of research. They can also play a crucial role in national disaster relief time, coastal and island defense, and patrolling and surveillance missions along our extensive maritime boundaries. India is uniquely positioned to leverage the potential of seaplane operations with its